there are business realities, but I don't think anybody's not asking these companies to make a profit. And in some ways, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, when you change the rules so that a few companies can swallow up all this media, suddenly the only thing that becomes important is the stock price. You know, there are many local owners, if they only owned one or two papers, that would be happy with the 10, 15, 25% annual profit margins that a newspaper can bring, but you get this small handful of companies all competing, and Wall Street's priorities start to, you know, overtake the priorities of good journalism, of good media. And that's why we have public policy. I mean, we have policies in place, and we've had them over the decades to ensure a variety of local owners. And unfortunately, we're moving away from that. And I think some of the struggles are a direct result as these companies become more detached from their local communities, as they don't serve the needs of these communities like they should be. If we rolled back media consolidation, ensured more local ownership, ensured a greater variety of voices, I think you'd find lots of people clamoring to get in and own one or two radio stations, one television station. But when the only way in the market is to become another giant conglomerate, then you end up with the same cookie cutter content in a race to the bottom everywhere you go. The other thing to keep in mind, I think, is that we need both a for-profit system and a non-profit system. And you know, we spend per capita far less on public media, public broadcasting than almost any other developed country. And that's despite the fact that Americans consider our spending on public broadcasting to be among the most important, in some surveys second only to the Defense Department. And yet we spend just a fraction of what England or Japan or Germany does on media that's nonprofit, that's, you know, protected from the pressures of Wall Street. So in the end, I think what we need is both. We need to encourage more community options like low-power FM radio, non-commercial radio, that are options and gateways for people to get into the media business. And we need to ensure with good public policy that you have a lot of choices at the local level. You know, you shouldn't allow one company to buy up all of the television and radio stations and the newspapers. And that's what these big companies would like to do because it's good for their bottom line, but ultimately it's not good for our democracy. We can balance the two, and we can look at what's in the best interest of our society and what's in the public interest, and also make sure that people are getting paid and making a profit. You know, these are some of the most profitable companies out there. Of course, they always want to be more profitable, but sometimes it's our government's job, it's our policymakers' job to step in and say, well, you know, there's more at stake here than just next quarter's profits.